Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Hello, Middlers. Welcome to episode 170. Holy moly, 170. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle, and I have a fun episode this week that was inspired by a thread that I saw on the internet, and then I posted on Instagram to ask you for your feedback. So we're going to talk about that today because a lot of you had a lot of good stories. So what I saw online was this whole thread, and I picked a favorite from it and I posted it on Instagram and I said, did anyone else have their kids do this? So the one that I posted said, until my son was about 3, he used to casually refer to the last time that I was alive and things he used to do or people he knew. Once he said, I died in a fire. Ugh, I did not like that. Eventually this stopped. So I wrote, did anyone else have kids that did something like this? And I got so many responses. So today is a little different type of episode, crowdsourced, but I thought it would be fun to share the answers. So we'll start off with announcements. My Reiki Level One in June is sold out. I'm guessing by the time this is released, there's currently one spot left. So the July Reiki Level One will be coming. There is a Reiki Level 2 at the end of June if you are one of my Reiki students waiting for that. And I'm excited to announce the next live meeting in the middle. And we're going back to the basics with Reiki and Chakras 101. So it's going to be a 75-minute workshop held virtually online on June 4th. And this is my favorite thing to teach at the Banff Wellness Retreat. And I thought, why not bring it to you guys and run this workshop? This is perfect for if you are maybe curious about energy and chakras, if you're maybe not ready for Reiki Level 1. If you've already done Reiki Level 1, you don't need this, but if it is good for anyone who's looking for a little bit of information on Reiki, just kind of going back to the basics, learning about how your energy moves, how you can better understand yourself and your energy. So I'll leave the link for that workshop down below. It is going to be $33 Canadian, which is about $25 USD. And the replay will be available for everybody if you can't make it live. So today's card pull is from the Angel Guide Oracle deck by Kyle Gray, and I pulled the card for you. Expect miracles. Miracles occur naturally. They are always ready to unfold. Your angels are encouraging you to prepare yourself for them now. A miracle doesn't have to be an extravagant change in circumstances. It can be a simple shift of energy that creates a wave of love in your life. If you need something positive to happen or you are praying hard for something, this card brings you the message that something exciting and healing is about to unfold. In order to help this along, you are being guided by your angels to recognize and honor your own worth. Realize that you are absolutely worthy of miracles and they will unfold in your life. Your entire life has been brought together by miracles. They're happening all the time, and the miracle that you need isn't a difficult one because it's in the hands of the divine. Anything is possible. I always love to see it. Expect miracles. So happy May, everybody. It is the beginning of May. The sun is shining in Banff, Alberta. It is so beautiful and warm here. I don't remember ever wearing shorts in April, but I was wearing shorts when it was still April. The sun just makes me so happy. I'm sure it does for everybody. I'm such a sun worshiper. So it's been beautiful. I hope you are feeling the spring vibes wherever you live. I'm also very excited for my Q2 trip. It is planned for the middle of May. I'm going to Las Vegas with my cousin. I'm going to meet her there. So get some sunshine. We're going to see a few shows. It should be really fun. I went to Vegas about 10 years ago, and I don't think we did it right. We went when it was cold, and we didn't see any shows, and we didn't really plan anything or do much. So I'm excited to go again now that I'm older and know how to plan vacations better. So there will be an episode next week, but there won't be an episode on the 17th while I'm away, and then we will be back on the 24th. But let's jump right into this episode because I think it's so interesting. And people ask why children are sensitive, and some people say they're like still closer to the veil, or a lot of different explanations. I just think that they don't have the lens of that's wrong, that's weird, I'm not right, I shouldn't know this, I shouldn't think this, kind of all the things that stop adults from following their intuition. I find kids don't have that lens yet. They don't know it's weird, they don't know it's different, they don't know that they maybe shouldn't know about their last lifetimes. And as we grow farther and farther away from that, we lose that connection. So just going back, the original post had like 15 of these of people posting about their kids saying some crazy things. So again, the one that I shared was, until my son was about 3, he used to casually refer to the last time I was alive and things he used to do or people he knew. Once he even said, I died in a fire. Ugh, I did not like that. Eventually he stopped. So I just put it out to Instagram and I said, did your kids ever do anything like this? Do you have any stories similar to this? And Instagram showed up. So I want to share some of those answers. So it started off with a few people agreeing and saying, yes, my kid used to do this. But I want to read you a few of these. So I'll start off with the first one. My daughter used to tell me about her big grandma that came in her window at night. And she was perfectly describing her great grandmother. Freaky. Oh, I love that stuff. My kid never met my grandpa, and she told me Tom is sitting next to me. And my son also had these types of conversations. I love that when grandparents are visiting kids. Another one, my daughter talks about the baby ghost that waits for her to come to bed. They've had 4 miscarriages. My niece used to do this. She talked about her family in another country, and she used to describe things in detail. I mean, this sounds really cool as like a thread, but if this actually happened to me, I think I would be a little freaked out. And you're just like, how do you know this? Like, how are you talking about your past lives? Someone else said, yep, my 4-year-old said, I really love sleeping in your room, except for all the eyes. So creepy. Also, he used to say, who's that lady? Pointing to an empty corner. Do. Someone said, one of my children reads my thoughts. All 3 have seen spirit and they know things about passed away loved ones that they never met. That's crazy. If you know things about someone who's passed or passed before you were born, I mean, can you get more evidential than that? So this person said, not my kid, but my boyfriend's son knew details about a train crash he died in as the conductor. Wow. A few others. Both kids talk to my father, and I normally feel him too. And my kid also talks about stuff and specifies it's another Earth, not this Earth. Ooh, a very kid-like way to say another lifetime as well. Like, I wonder if they mean another lifetime or literally another Earth, like they were another being. I find this stuff so interesting. I wish you could just like interview children, but I don't think that's very ethical. Especially to be like, how do you know this? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Trying to get them to tune into their intuition. I feel like that would scare them and they would stop answering. So I don't want to do that. Someone else said, yes, they used to say, remember when you were my baby? My mother had passed away. Ooh. Or also like soul families. They could have been with you many times and now you're the mom, but in another life, they were the mom. Okay, and then the last one. At 5 years old, they were hysterical to turn off the bedtime music because it's the music they play for dead people. Oh. This would freak me out. I mean, I think it's very interesting, and my advice would be to anyone like experiencing this with their kids or who has kids that say these things maybe now is to just be inquisitive. Ask questions. Try to make it seem normal and okay that they're talking about this, that they remember this, because you don't want to scare the kids, and you do want to try to get them to feel safe to talk about it and tell you. But I do agree that the older you get, you lose it. Is it because of society? Is it because you become more in this realm, in this world? Is it because your body no longer serves you to remember? I'm sure there's a lot of theories. I have a feeling that it's like, tell me what happened 10 years ago. It's harder to remember than if it happened last year. So to me, I feel like you're just getting farther and farther away from it. So the kids probably learn that, number one, maybe they don't feel normal or they don't notice other people talking about their past lives. And number two, it gets harder and harder to remember. So I just wanted to share a little fun, quick episode with you all today, get you thinking. And if you have any of these, please share them with me because I find it so interesting. I also am very interested in near-death experiences and how people report a lot of the same things when they have near-death experiences. I think that's so interesting. So similar to like multiple kids reporting past lives, it's interesting that multiple people report the same things when they have near-death experiences. I really want to have someone on the podcast that has had a near-death experience. So if you have, or if you want to come on the podcast and talk about it, please send me an email, a DM on Instagram. I would love to just talk to someone who had one of those experiences and see, like, do you remember anything? Was there something similar? Energetically now, how do you feel? I find it's so interesting. I've watched actually a few documentaries on this, and there's books and just, all the fun things that mediums think of, and I'm sure other people do as well. So if you haven't already, on Instagram, I'm at Medium in the Middle. If you want to follow me there, I post a lot on my stories to interact with you. You can ask questions. I answer them very often on the podcast, or they might even inspire a podcast. If you've had a near-death experience, please send me a message or an email. All of my bookings are done on my website, themediuminthemiddle.com. Beware of scammers. They are everywhere on Instagram. My website is the only place to book with me, where I offer Distance Reiki, PSYCH-K sessions, Reiki courses, classes, workshops. I also work in person in Banff, Alberta. And if you haven't already, please leave the podcast a rating and a review. It really helps the podcast grow and reach more people. Send this to someone whose kid does this, or who maybe wants to feel less alone that their kid has these experiences. But until next Wednesday, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.